Well, hey there, how you doing? Dave Fenoy here. Another Wednesday, another Ask Dave Fenoy Anything. It is 6 p.m. Pacific. We're on Facebook Live, but now also on LinkedIn and Twitter. So if you've got LinkedIn and Twitter, you can also watch this live there. And of course, all the Ask Dave Fenoys live on my YouTube channel, Dave Fenoy Voiceover Training. And of course, if you are interested in voiceover coaching from me, davefenoy.com, click on the Study VO tab, and there you go. And also, don't want you to forget down there, wait, it's just down there. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Game VO Mexico coming up April 27th through the 30th. Myself, Aaron Fitzgerald, and why is somebody calling me now? I don't know why people do that. No call right now. Don't disturb. Stop taking calls, phone. Aaron Fitzgerald, Marvelous Talent, Mark Esdale, Randall Ryan, and Gillian Brashear. We are going to be taking 14 students from the basics of acting to simulated game sessions. We are going to help 14 students break free of the chains that hold them back from booking video games consistently. And by the way, one thing I have learned that being a good actor in video games translates into other work. Your narration will improve. Your commercial work will improve. And you will have doors open for you into the dubbing world because that's who they hire. Anyway, without further ado, let's say hello to my guest. We've got the amazing Erica J, and there she is. How are you, Erica J? Woohoo!
Hey! Ooh, applause.
And the crowd goes wild. And you know what? There's that big smile. I mean, it's always there. I don't think I've ever seen you without it. And I'm happy to say that over the years and the number of events that we've been at together, we've become good friends.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to tell on you a little bit that VO Atlanta, Erica became engaged.
I did. And Cancun.
Cancun.
You're thinking forward. That's
I'm
all right.
thinking
You're
forward.
ahead.
It's the gray hair. It makes you forget things.
And
But
yeah, vocation in Cancun.
Vocation
Yeah.
down in Cancun. Wow, was it a couple weeks ago now?
Mm-hmm.
And your boyfriend, now fiance, Delano, planned the whole thing. It was so romantic. We had this whole room full of people. She knew nothing about it, and we were doing some kind of starlight twinkle fest, and in he comes, gets down on one knee, and I thought he was going to have a speech, but he basically, baby, I don't have nothing to say. Will you marry me?
He said he started to, and then it was like I was crying, and everybody was and he started crying. He's just like, "Look, let's just get out the way."
Oh, but it was just wonderful. I've got some video of it. And a few pictures. I will send them to you.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure you have plenty.
I do. I'll take it though. But it was such a beautiful moment. I'm so glad all my voiceover friends were there to share it. So.
All right. Well, let's get right into this about your voiceover career. Now, you have a career as a project manager, high-tech products and programming and whatnot. Yeah. What made you decide, let me add voiceover to that?
Yeah. So my journey is a little weird. So it's like I started in music. I started singer-songwriter and, always kind of did music and did that thing. And then it was like, go to college and, get a job and did that. Kind of left music alone for about 9 years and ended up kind of coming back to it and started writing my own music, recording my own music, getting in a corporate band. So I had a job and I was a single mom at the time with 2 young kids. So couldn't really give that up to pay the bills. So I did both. So I was kind of like Clark Kent, Superman. You know what I mean? Like had the double life.
Take off the glasses and step into the booth.
That's right, exactly. So, yeah, I was really literally working, the 9 to 5. I was working for the government at the time, for Department of Defense, and doing music in the evenings and weekends. So, I was already kind of balancing the art career and the corporate career.
You're making me
Um,
tired just thinking about it.
yeah, yeah, I was a little younger then. But then I was looking for a way to kind of be home more. My kids were still young at the time, and I was really literally gone every weekend because we were gigging every weekend. And somebody had mentioned voiceover, and I'm like, "What's that?" Like totally green, right? Didn't even know it was a thing. And I just when I get my claws on something, I dig in, and that's kind of how it worked. I did all the googling and the researching and the going to studios, and I learned and eventually started to transition more into voiceover than music, and that's where we are now.
Okay, so many parallels with my career, but how long have you been doing this now? What year was it that you started knocking on the voiceover door?
September of 2016.
Oh, you
So,
remember.
yeah, I have it written down so I don't forget.
So we're under 10 years.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And so what were some of the steps that you made that you would suggest for other people, and what are some of the steps you made that you'd say, no, no, don't do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, some of the things, and again, it's kind of like I feel like my story is almost like a little unfair because I had already learned how to record myself because I was recording my own music. So, a lot of the equipment that people have to sort of, get the capital to get, I already had. And I already knew how to use, DAWs and, some understanding of engineering. But one thing I would say not to do is I did go straight to a demo. I know. But let me tell you how it happened, Dave. So I was actually working with a theater student. Well, had already graduated on a musical. And I was talking about voiceover. And she was like, oh, well, this studio over here, they do demos. And I was in Richmond, Virginia at the time. Still work with that studio to this day. Bless their heart. They walked me through the demo. And I listen to that now and cringe. Like, I don't know how they
But
walked
they
me
still
directly
took your
through.
money.
But they did. But it wasn't even that. It was very, very, very economical. I'll put it that way. It was by no way a scam. And they did the demo because they actually hired me, and I ended up getting work from them that more than I've paid for that demo 100-fold by now with them.
Oh yeah.
So that was what I would say would not do, is to go straight to a demo. I had no voiceover training. But what I would do is, learning about recording yourself early. Because really now, you have to. There are some jobs where they'll call you into the studio, but after, even before COVID, there were home studios, but now, I mean, it's a necessity. You got to do it.
Yeah, home studios kind of started with those of us who were doing TV promos.
Mm,
And we, of course, had that ancient technology of ISDN, which you almost can't get anymore. I
yeah.
let mine go when it went from about $150 a month to 800 a month. And okay, forget it. And it's a Source Connect,
Yeah.
connection open,
Yep.
ipdiddle world now.
Yep.
But I'm looking at your equipment there. Looks like that Studio Bricks.
It is. Yep. I did get a Studio Bricks. I started in the closet though. Let me be clear about that. And the only reason I got a Studio Bricks is because my neighbors love to do things to their houses. So I hear leaf blowers and lawn mowers and hammers and all kinds of things. So I needed something that was going to block some of that out.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have so much noise, my closet sounded amazing with the acoustic treatment. So
One of the
I don't know.
best places you can record is a closet with clothes in it.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what? Since we're looking so clearly into your studio there, now what size is your Studio Bricks? What microphone do you have, and what's your DAW and so forth?
Yeah, I did the 4x6, the one that's not the perfect square, because it's a little better if you don't have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
perfect, yeah, size. Even the size is what I'm trying to say. So I did that one. I did the VO edition that came with the desk and the little arm thing. I have a 416, and I'm on a 103 right now because I was telling Dave before the show I laugh really big, so make sure I don't blow your guys' ears out with the shotgun. I use Mogami cables. Going through an Apollo Twin. I also have an Audient ID22 because backup.
You say it
I
with
use
such confidence. You
Yeah,
say it
you have to.
like you know what you're talking about.
I mean, I know a little bit.
I love
And
that.
I use Adobe Audition primarily, but I was doing music using Pro Tools, so I do still keep that, because sometimes it's easier to do I do jingles and stuff from time to time, so I do,
Yeah.
Pro Tools for that.
So are you a Mac or PC gal?
I'm a PC gal, custom built PC.
That's okay. We can still be friends.
I know.
Did you build it yourself?
I didn't. I hired someone, but yeah, but kind of went through the specs and yeah, I have like this. I love this case. It's actually called the company is called Be Quiet, so
Ah,
it makes sure like all the fans and stuff that people have to worry about that have PCs, I don't hear it, and it's outside my booth, so I don't have any noise.
all right. I'm gonna pop up a couple of things here. First of all, I want to say if you've got some questions, thoughts, or just a hello for Erica J, feel free. I'm gonna do a little bit of that now. Janice Hunter says good evening.
Yes.
Mike Cunningham, hi Erica, and you don't mind that much that he misspelled it.
That's okay.
Okay, yeah,
You can go to my Facebook and see it
you
correctly.
know,
I am usually sensitive about my 2Ks, but
one of my pet peeves in this world now is all the unique spellings of names that you have to get used to. And Janice, hey Erica J, how you doing? And
Yay.
Larry Oblander too, congratulations. I'm not sure if that's on the baby or the marriage, the becoming engaged,
Yeah.
possibly for both.
I'll take it. Thank you.
There you go. Let's see. Let's what Terry Briscoe always here. Hey Terry, how you doing? Love to see the DMV being
Yeah,
represented from both of you. Well, there you go.
that's right.
Michael Glover, yes. PC, yeah. Oh, come on,
Yay.
Michael.
Yeah, that's my boy. There we go. PC for
Uh,
life.
Mike Cunningham popped up again. I bought a fanless Windows tablet with an i7, and it's
Mm.
making me wonder if I should swap it instead for a MacBook. LOL. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Uh, Theo says, "Hey Dave, hey Erica."
Hey.
Um, and Janice Hunter, what is the life of a demo? Good question. Or how often should you update your demos? What are your thoughts on that, Erica?
I think it really depends. I've heard people that have kept demos for 5 or so years. It's about if trends have really changed from what's on your demo, if your voice has really changed, if your training has really changed, or like you've gotten better, maybe it's time for a new demo. Um, and just if I mean, we're running businesses, right? So you have to make sure that the investment makes sense and that you get the ROI on that. So I think it really depends, but I would say
Return
probably
on
5 years.
investment. You're such a
Yeah,
business
buddy.
lady.
I am. Yeah, I think I would say maybe 5 years would be the longest-ish if I had to guess, but who knows? I mean, if you're still booking on one that's 8 years old.
And I have to unfortunately raise my hand that I have not updated my demos in time, and but I work all the time,
Hey, yep.
and it's now I have plans. I'm about to update a narration demo, but I don't think I've updated a game demo
Mhm.
since oh about 8 years.
Hey,
And my commercial demo is, but I book.
right.
Uh, I am going to say though, I have seen some people, especially in the promo world, who had great jobs making hundreds of thousands of dollars, did not update their demos, and then suddenly that job went away, and it took them a little while to get back. But fortunately, industry knew them. They finally did. They did get new demos, but that's kind of a rare case. Most of us these days are doing a variety of jobs, and if you are at the beginning of your career or that 5-6 year point, you're still trying to grow.
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I could retire sometime soon. Why bother? They're hiring me, so I'll keep working. But yeah, you should get your demos updated, despite the fact that I'm really tardy on updating mine. Let's see. Any other questions here? Oh, what I thought you were a Mac for life.
Who? Me?
You know what? Terry has all these friends in the chat, and they talk back and forth, and sometimes I'll randomly pop onto a comment, and it wasn't meant for me. It's my
Yeah.
show and everything, but it wasn't meant for me.
You're not even
Mike,
talking to us.
something in my throat. Mike Cunningham says, I'm an IT guy. I use what's best. I will use what is best use case. I even just switched to an Android. Oh my.
Yeah, I'm an Android person too.
Oh God.
And
I, I, I still love you.
Delano is Apple, but yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so it's going to be a mixed marriage.
Yeah, exactly. We found our way. We went to therapy and figured
There
it
you
out.
go. Larry O'Blander, too. I'm looking on changing my character animation demo from characters to actual emotions to seek out more video game options. Is that a good idea? Hope that made sense. You know what? I'm not sure it made sense. Demo from characters to actually emotions to seek out more video game options.
Hmm.
What do you think he's saying here?
I think, I mean, I don't know, and I may be misinterpreting it, but I don't know that you necessarily need to redo the demo. Maybe if you're like tagging those different characters with what that character is emoting, maybe you can continue to use that same spot. Because I know that there's a trend, particularly with online casting, about shorter demos and it really being more geared towards, upbeat or, I don't know, just whatever other descriptors. So maybe just figuring out what the emotion is of that character rather than redoing the whole demo is
Yeah,
maybe.
I think you definitely want to think in terms of characters and character types,
Yeah.
but a variety of characters who are displaying a variety of
Of emotions.
thoughts and emotions
Yeah.
in different situations. So you want the good guy, the bad guy, the heavy, the friend of good guy, the doctor, the lawyer, the soldier.
Yeah.
But a variety of how these people might feel, or they
Yeah.
could be creatures as well. We are talking video games, by the way.
Very true.
Speaking of which, now you work across the board.
Yeah.
Um, where would you say is your bread and butter, or is it evenly spread out?
I'd say my bread and butter is probably corporate narration, the silent partner of VO, as I call it. Um,
The silent partner of VO. I like that.
yeah. So yeah, because I had the tech background, a lot of those kind of roll off the tongue. A lot of those, sometimes it crosses a little bit into live and out sometimes because a lot of corporations will have like award shows or sales events that they have, and they're looking for the opening video voice. So I do a lot of that work.
Oh, let me
Um,
hear your best opening corporate announce for their corporate meeting.
It depends. Like sometimes when it's sales, like they just want you to be jazzed, like, welcome to, and then sometimes they want more understated, kind of, Viola Davis. Welcome to sales event 2023. I don't know. Like it
Yeah.
just depends.
I'm sorry. I usually don't put people on the spot like that, but
I don't
that was fun. That was
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun. Let's
So,
do it.
in the corporate world, what do you think about AI right now? Do you think that's going to be a problem with the corporate work that you do?
I don't. I agree with some of the sentiments. Like first person that comes to mind is like J. Michael has brought up a lot. Like maybe some of the e-learning will go away. But really the corporate work that I do, a lot of them are very much more focused on emotions than maybe people think. Because people coming into the workforce now, I'm going to edit. I'm not going to curse on your show, Dave. They don't want
No,
the BS.
it's okay with me.
Oh, okay, okay. Younger people coming into the workforce, they don't want to be bullshitted, just like the people that are listening to commercials. So they want that human, real, authentic emotion and, connecting with those employees in these narrations as well. So I don't know that AI is going to cut it for some of that.
Yeah.
But maybe some of like the compliance training, stuff they have to do just legally, that might go to an AI voice. I could see that. But
It's interesting because we went from this guy who was just Mr. Sales guy. We went from that guy to I want a friend talking to
yeah.
me.
Yep.
Share the information. Don't sell me. Tell me.
Yep.
Would we really go to so much more human to very robotic. Not that AI is all that robotic. I've heard some really good,
Yeah.
I don't want to say good and AI in the same breath, but
It's the
some
truth.
good simulation of the human
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
Um, I, Something else I'm going to mention. I don't know if you've done this, but there are some programs out there, AI programs, that you can record 15 minutes, an hour, longer. I think longer is better, and create your own AI voice. And I know
Yeah.
of some voice actors that are doing that now
Yeah.
and using their AI voices to audition and sometimes work for them.
Yeah.
Um, and I've said for a while that it's a double edged sword. We don't want our voices to be stolen from us and used without remuneration.
Right.
But if we can be in control of our AI voices, more power to us. And
Yeah.
I think James Earl Jones signing the
Yeah.
deal he just signed for, I'm not sure how much money, but I'm sure it was quite lucrative, to forever be the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy. But I mean, if you're that close to retirement, and why not? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that. And I was approached before and kind of had thought about doing it. And I'm not completely turned off. I haven't done it yet because I think that there's the whole legality of it is still unfolding quite a bit. And that makes me a little nervous. But yeah, I even like it for other purposes, as it would have to be very tightly controlled, but I would love to be able to still speak to my loved ones after I'm gone. You know what I mean? So
Ah,
that's
ah.
kind of a utility of it that I see.
So they stop by your grave and a
Hey,
little image pops up, a hologram, and that big smile is right there. Hey y'all, how
there
you
you go.
doing?
Yep. And I'm like, stop crying. Like this. Oh man.
Oh boy. Well, let me get somebody else here. Let's Sharon Owens Clark. So proud of you, baby. That's my daughter-in-law.
Oh, yeah, that's my
Congratulations.
mama-in-law to be.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, be proud of your son too, because he did that.
He did.
He did that. He's got a lot of boyfriend, fiance, husband points stacked up.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. Janice Hutter, can you discuss ADR and dubbing? Have you been doing any dubbing or ADR?
I haven't. I did a dubbing class once and it was cool. I like that, my music background and that timing thing. I was really able to use that. But I haven't done any of that work. Yeah, it just hasn't been my thing.
Well, let me answer a little bit of that for you, Janice. Um, Dubbing is a combination acting and technician. And it is a growing industry now. I don't think it's going to go away for a while because uh, there are so many platforms for entertainment now that a hit show in Germany or Spain or Brazil or wherever you can imagine, if it's a hit show there, Netflix or some other agency is looking, oh, we need something here for our listeners. So we are dubbing shows from every language into every other language. And what it means is you need to be a good actor, you need to read well, and have a sense of rhythm and timing. It's a much longer process than, say, video games or animation or any other kind of voiceover work, because you are watching that actor on the screen. The words are going by in time.
Yep.
There's a little bar there, and as the words are being said, that's when you're saying those words. But the good acting has to be there. So
Yeah.
you have to bring your own rhythm as an actor, but match that rhythm to the actor that did the work. I've also noticed that they are shooting shows differently now. They will cut to that actor saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but by the time he gets to X, Y, Z, they have cut to the person he's talking to while he finishes what he says, making it much easier for you to complete what you're saying without having to match the lip flap exactly when it ends. Smart way to start shooting, and it helps us out a lot. Now, it does not pay as well hour by hour as video games or animation or many other things. It does take a little bit longer, but I like it. It doesn't pay badly. It just doesn't pay as much. All right, back to Miss Erica J. So
Nice.
you have managed in these few short years to win quite a few awards.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
voted Voice Actor of the Year for Voice One. How did that
Yep.
come about? Who
Yeah.
did you bribe?
So what now?
Who did you bribe?
Who that bribe? Well, the list is long. No, yeah, so I mean, it's crazy. I know a lot of us in the creative arts, have this whole imposter syndrome thing, right? And the submissions came up for One Voice because obviously, I don't know if everybody knows, you do submit yourself or, usually. Um, so I submitted to a few categories and I'm like, you know what? This artist of the year, like why not? I've worked in all these different genres. I don't know if I can get it, but I'll try. And I just put a whole thing together and it was like hours before the deadline and I was getting ready to go out of town and I got it, the whole compilation and I submitted it.
And the compilation included what genres?
Oh God. What did I have in there? I definitely had a video game spot in there. I had a couple commercials, some TV, some radio. I had political. I had like this storytelling thing where I did Maya Angelou's Still I'll Rise.
Uh,
What else was in there? I really tried to vary it up and show that I'm working in all these different areas. TV, I had a crime narration in there. Um yeah.
how
So
long?
that
How long
was
was it?
I think they said it could be up to 4 minutes, so I did like 3 and a half. I'm
Okay,
like, "Why not?"
because you're going to say fitting all of that and
Yeah,
actually being able to, you know, get
yeah,
into each little piece was going to take a little bit longer.
yeah. I
Well,
did do a version though that I cut it down to like a minute and a half,
yeah.
where I just did really quick snippets, but yeah,
Well,
and it just
Erica, that really is just a testament to your talent.
thank you.
Yeah. Now, were you ever an actor?
No. So, funny story. So, when I was in high school, actually, I went to Duke Ellington in DC for a while for music, for vocal music. That's an art school in DC. And at the time, I was interested. I like wanted to do everything. So, there was some acting thing that came up, and we had to do a monologue, and I did it and wasn't chosen. And it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with acting, and never got any like acting training. But I found that when I got into voiceover, that a lot of what I was doing on stage with music, um, I was always really focused on the emotion of the song and conveying that through my voice, and I had no clue how that was gonna translate to what I do now. But haven't really had formal acting training other than, like, voiceover classes. So yeah, like I said, my journey is a little bit weird and different, but, yeah,
Yeah, well, acting, a lot of it is empathy, and if you have that,
yeah,
and I think being musical
yeah,
helps. Not that I'm suggesting you people sing songs in your voiceover,
yeah, please don't.
but you want to connect with your heart and your head and your reactions to things. Let's
Yeah.
see.
The
Well,
other thing for that real quick, I'll just throw in there too, is that I'm actually, when I went to college, my major is communications. So, and I studied human communication. So like I literally, did like nonverbal and between the sexes and, like I studied communication. So that helped a lot that I was very sort of tuned into the details and nuance of the way that humans communicate. That helps me a lot.
excellent. Theo Mezzacapo, what's going on, man? What's something a voice actor can do every day to improve on their craft and on their business?
Ooh.
Thoughts?
Craft, read every day out loud all the time. Um, I don't mind. I'm on social media and online a lot. Kind of staying up on the market, watch TV. Like, hey, that's part of our business. You have to study media and understand the market trends so that you can keep up with them. And that kind of folds into both the business and the performance side. Um, Reading, business books or business blogs, not staying just in the voiceover lane. But, entrepreneurial or entrepreneurial podcasts. I get paid to talk. Um, those sort of things. So just remembering that this is a business first and that it's a media business and you need to be tuned into what's going on in media.
Absolutely. Now, I want to back up a little bit of your answer there when you talked about watching television. I totally agree. We want to watch, and I think your point there was what's popular, what's happening, what are the styles. If you're listening to the commercials, you're getting a right now understanding of where the market is and what they're looking for. And
Yep.
I think we've all been in that position. You audition for something, and then you heard it on the air. So why'd they choose that guy?
Yeah.
And rather than just go, oh God, he sounds terrible. I don't know what's wrong. It must be their cousin or something. There was a reason somebody was chosen.
Yeah.
Start learning why that, figuring out what that is. The other thing, especially for actors who are going to be doing video games and cartoons, watch those shows not for the entertainment, but what are the actors doing? How do they handle copy? Turn on your closed caption and see how these words that the writer wrote are
Yes.
humanized
Yes.
by the actors. How little they're paying attention to the words and how much the facial expressions, the body language, the movement, how much that affects what comes out here. I say this to my students all the time. Thank you, Mark Estale. This is the exhaust of the acting engine. All right. That's enough of my
the other thing that you told me in one of our early sessions, probably about 3 years ago now, and I have it written on a Post-it note, is to free yourself from the tyranny of grammar and punctuation.
That is one of my free yourself from the tyranny of words and punctuation.
Words and punctuation.
Yeah,
basically.
we as human beings do not speak the way writers write. And often when we're looking at words on a page, we're trying to read them in a perfect way. It's a perfect rhythm, and I'm not going to miss anything. Oh, there's a comma. Let me stop for that, and let me hit that period right there. And, I think that's an important word, so let me make that word important. And that is not how we talk. And we have freedom. We have thoughts. We typically don't know exactly what it is we're going to say when we start speaking. The words have to come to us. Your character doesn't have a script. Now, that's pretty much for character work. You are the expert and know what you're going to say pretty much with commercials, but still with a little bit of that natural humanness that is perfectly imperfect.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Terry Briscoe, congrats on the marriage, the baby, and winning VO Artist of the Year. Not to mention, she also won 3 Voice Arts Awards.
Yeah.
You were such a star. What advice would you give to someone who isn't exactly in year 1, but someone that wants to make the next step up?
Oh man. I think you need to know where you're trying to go. You need to set long-term and short-term goals for yourself. There are a few things that are as demotivating as, you have something as big as, I want to be the voice of a car company and you're 6 months in. You have to have some incremental goals to get you there. Like, all right, I want to make sure that my studio is broadcast quality. Yay. I want to book my first regional commercial. Yay, got that, and sort of incrementally getting there. Figuring out, what genre you really want to focus and specialize in. Like I love politicals, and not everybody wants to do that. And it is a type of commercial, but it's a very different segment of voiceover. Sort of dabbling in those genres to see what it is that you want to chase first, rather than kind of trying to do anything or whatever I can book, just figuring out where you want to go.
Yeah, that's a good one. And let's see, Janice Hunter. By the way, I was watching East New York and heard you voicing a lottery commercial. So cool.
I do a lot of lottery. Thank you.
And I wasn't sure because I do a lot of lottery stuff too. Now, is that for me or is that for Erica J?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was you. I don't know.
Dave Fothergill. Hey to both of you. I'm PC and I enjoyed and use Audacity. Oh, that's we can still be friends.
I
Uh,
started with
just
Audacity too.
just started, so I know I probably need a new mic. But thoughts on Audacity? It seems to have the settings change on their own, or maybe not, from time to time, and the output sounds different.
Yeah, I haven't used Audacity in a very long time, but it's good to start with, I think. But it's free for a reason is kind of the way I put it. You know what I mean? It's not that it's bad, but it's free for a reason. So if you're having some trouble with it and maybe you're getting ready for that next step, maybe it's time to, look at I'm personally like Adobe Audition because also they have it monthly, so you can try it. You don't like it, just cancel. And it's very intuitive and easy to use. So
And I'm going to suggest, if you're a Mac person, Twisted Wave was
oh yeah.
made
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
voiceover. I use it every day. I've got Pro Tools. I very rarely use it now, unless an engineer, is taking over my computer to, do the session, so I don't have to play engineer as well. Um, it's very easy to use. It's inexpensive, and it's not a monthly bill.
Yeah.
Um, I have never used Audacity because it's free. I want to be able to call and cuss somebody out if the stuff I paid for isn't working.
I hear that.
So I've never bothered with it, but it's been around long enough. I would never advise anyone not to use it. A lot of
Yeah.
people are having success with it, but I think it's going to come a point in your career uh, where you're going to want something more reliable, more capability, that fits exactly what you're doing.
I believe Twisted Wave has a beta for Windows now as well, by the way,
Ah,
for
excellent.
Windows users, I
Because
believe. I haven't checked.
I love it, and it will do everything you want it to do in the world of voiceover.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you have a thank you here, Christina Tattersall, Erica, and she spelled your name right.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you for sharing. Um, okay, and back to David. And was about to ask about AI, so thanks for that input as well. There seems to be a lot of auditions for that. Um, you know what? There are auditions for that. Well, let's make your voice an AI voice, but you can do it yourself and be in control. All right, Mr. Terry Briscoe always has great things. Erica, Oh, we saw. How did I get back to that? We already answered that question. And here's one from Mike Cunningham. Many of us that are in year 2, 3 are still trying to find our footing and get consistent work without an agency. If you had to choose one pay to play to audition on in order to get out there and still have a decent chance to make some income, which would it be?
Yeah. For me, it's Voice 123. And that's actually the only one that I'm still on right now. Um, I know that I mean it's work to get going on those platforms. But I know actually I'll do a plug that Karin Gilfrey is going to be doing an X session at VO Atlanta on she has really done a great job, sort of understanding like how to be successful on those platforms. But for me, that's the best one and the one that I'm still on today.
Yeah. And you gave the positive, I'll give the negative. Leave voices.com alone.
I wasn't
They
gonna say it.
they are this close to being crooks. They
Yeah.
are robbing people. They are robbing people. I don't know how they get away with it, but they do. It's because so many people want to do this. Well, now you've been in the business now since 2016, you said,
16. Yep. Yep.
and when did you really start making some money?
Ooh, good question. I would say real money, really, I think it was 2020. I think as much as I hate saying it, the pandemic was a game changer. Um, as horrible as it was, I was able to then sort of open up my world because everybody was home and online. So the whole voiceover community that I didn't know yet, I was like reaching out to people and introducing myself and following, and everything was online. So I was able to kind of immerse myself more, and I was working full time from home at that point. So yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19. we're talking under 30,000.
Well,
So yeah,
just enough that if you were in the union, you could qualify for health insurance.
barely. Barely.
Which reminds me, I should mention NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors. If you are one of those voice actors that's making a decent living, but maybe you're not in the union and or don't qualify for SAG-AFTRA insurance, NAVA has a healthcare program or insurance uh, that you can get through NAVA. So look into the National Association of Voice Actors. Uh, it's more than that, but it's also that. And
Yeah.
it's a good thing. All right, Michael Glover stepping up to the plate again. Music and VO, me too. Loving you, Erica. We have a lot in common. Dave, I can't
Awesome.
afford the Mexico thing now after attending VO Atlanta for the first time. However, can I get some serious VO game acting training from you privately? I need it. Of course you can, Michael Glover. Of course you can. Happy to do it. Let's see, Terry Briscoe. In my last session from a famous video game actress, F that comma.
Yes, I have been told something to that before. Yes, to that effect.
I have used that quote myself. The writer only takes us 50% of the way, or football season's over, but I'll use it. The writer only takes us to the 50-yard line. Well, you got
There
to
you
take
go.
the ball over the goal line.
There you go.
There you go. And Love is, what a name. What are your 2023 VO goals? Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh, that is a good question because I am late on my vision board for this year. But just had this discussion with Delano. So I have not been able to crack the network promo egg yet. That is one of my goals for this year. I'm working on that. And I'm still kind of honestly ramping back up after having the baby. I kind of slowed down a little, so I
Really?
want to
Oh
get.
gosh, why would you slow down after having a baby?
I know, I know. I'm so ashamed.
It's
No,
it's not like you're not sleeping at night because some small creature is waking up and wanting to suckle.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Just suck all the life out of me. But yeah, I want to get like a big commercial campaign this year. Don't I'm still kind of getting my feet back in and doing regional stuff and corporate stuff. But yeah, those are my goals this year.
And I probably don't need to remind you of this, but let's get the want to out. Let's talk
Yes.
in terms of and this is important. Let's talk in terms
Yeah.
of I have this. I am thankful for this.
Yes. You're
Not
right.
I want, you will be in the want of. That is what you will create for yourself. I know this sounds airy fairy and metaphysical, and so what? It
Yeah.
works. Your
Yeah.
mindset is very, very important. The messages you give yourself are very, very important. Um, I saw something today scrolling through Facebook for a second that mentioned one of the things you don't want to do is think and speak negatively about another person. And because your brain doesn't know it's another person, your
Yeah.
brain rests that negativity in you. So let other people do their thing. Speak highly of yourself. Be thankful for the gifts that are not quite manifest yet, but will be.
Yes. Agreed.
All right. Michael, anybody use SoundForge anymore? Or am I the only one? I guess I'm really old school, LOL. Good question. You don't know either. Well, that's one that
Not
somebody
familiar
else.
with that one.
There you go. Richelieu Hoff Jr., how long did you train before you set out to get work?
Didn't. So again, this is one of those things where it's like maybe don't do what Erica did, but yeah, once I had kind of found out about voiceover, I hopped on. BDC was my first site, honestly, and I just, had angels in heaven, and I booked a couple jobs that first month, but then I didn't hear anything for like 3 months. And then I booked one, and then it was like 2 or 3 months, and so it was one of those. But try to do some training first. Don't be like Erica.
Well, I'm just going to say this. There are lots of things that we don't want you to do, lots of mistakes that you can make, but just because you make some mistakes doesn't mean you're not going to have a career.
Oh yeah.
Think about the mistakes you've made throughout life, in school and life with friends, that you overcame. None of us are going to get through anything that we're doing mistake-free. So make a mistake, learn your lesson, move on.
Yep.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, yes. Oh, my friend Molly Page. How are you, Molly? Hi, Dave. I came in a little late, so sorry if you covered this. Where do we get the soundproof foam that looks like intestines?
Molly, that is classic. That's awesome. I actually found this on like Facebook Marketplace or something. Somebody was selling it for it was like $25 and it was like 12 panels. I was like, ooh, I like that pattern. It's different. Give it to me.
Yeah.
So
I have seen that pattern and I'm due. I had a flood in here when we had the big rains, and then I discovered that a water pipe was broken, and I said, why it stopped raining? Why is it flooding in my studio? And most of it came through one wall and up through the floor. So I had to rip out some rug, and I don't know when, because I'm in here every day working. I'm going to have to pull it all out and redo my studio. I'm not looking forward to that. But I noticed those intestines there. That
now when I walk in here every day, I'm going to think about intestines. Thanks, Molly.
Or, it's your Titlin wall.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Well, there you go. All right. Trey Kendrick Mosley, what's up, man? Hey, E, I broke my Facebook sabbatical just for you. I saw the ugly cry. Congrats on everything.
Yes, the fugly cry. He got me.
The fugly cry. And, but it was a beautiful fugly cry.
Yeah, thank you. It was a raw moment. And I swear, like now, sometimes in the booth, I even think about that moment because the emotion was so raw, like when they want these authentic reads, like that's what they're talking about. I didn't care how ugly I looked. I was in the moment. So
yeah. And another little thing, your face, whatever that emotion is, your face, if it's not on your face, it's not really coming out here. Yeah. And your body so informs your read. Simple things like, voiceover 101. You want to sound like you're smiling? Put a smile on your face, and you notice how that brightens up? If you want to sound just a little bit more important, sit up just a little bit straighter, and there's a slight change in how my voice sounds. And if you want to sound like you're a little tired, your body informs your voice. Anyway, Mr. Michael Glover again. Erica, you really helped me know when to change to my 103 from my 416. Interesting. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. Speaking of mics, I'm just saying, I use my 416 on almost everything.
Me too. Yeah. Almost everything. Now, even for game auditions, I used to switch to my 103 all the time, and now I kind of stay on the 416.
Yeah, I stay on the 4, unless someone requests it. And I have a collection of mics, and I can break them out if they ask for them. I've got the U87 and all that, but that 416 covers 95% of everything, and what it can't cover, the 103, which has the same capsule as a U87, but it's much more forgiving of your space. Yes. The 87 is a prima donna. It likes a big room. I like tall ceilings. The 103 says, come on, let's do it.
Exactly. Yeah, my type of gal.
All right. And let's see. Oh, heart to Erica J. from Rebecca Lee.
Oh, my love. Hey, girl.
And somebody else who agrees with us. Yep, I've given up my 103 and just keep up the 416. So if somebody were, came to you today and said, "Wow, Erica, I love your story. You did the corporate thing, you're a singer, and you switched over to voiceover. Now you have a great career. I want to follow in your footsteps." What would you tell them? What would be your game plan for them?
Ooh. My initial thought is you can't follow in my footsteps. You have to find your own. Um, like like I said, everything from sort of which genres you're passionate about, to which mic is best for your voice, to if you are the type that wants to go direct market and kind of, go after your clients on your own, or if you want to seek sort of, big market representation and go after the commercial work like that. Yeah, I guess the first thing that I could offer is obviously getting, like I said, your home studio up so that you have the goods there and sort of understanding the tech. Um, Learning as much as you can about the self-recording and the art of acting and, only being able to rely on your voice for that. Um, and then just maybe getting involved with the community. I love the conferences and the retreats and all the things. For one, because I love tax deductible travel, but I also love being able to meet people and hear their stories and bounce ideas off each other. So I think community is really important, especially for something as nuanced as what we do. Um, yeah, that's probably a really long answer, but that's what I got. And you
Well,
got to find your own way.
I just want to co-sign the community part. In voiceover, we have one of the most supportive communities of any business anywhere. And if you're trying to get in this community and you're not that, get the hell out. Um, be because we're supportive, and we need to be.
Yeah.
This is a very singular experience that you go through in voiceover. Most of the time, you are by yourself in your studio with words on a page and a microphone that you are trying to bring to life. And your mama don't understand, your daddy don't understand. Chances are, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, lover, cousins, they don't understand. They may be willing to support you emotionally, but don't know how. So it's important that we get together like this, uh, in Cancun, in Europe, in Akumal,
Yeah.
if you're going to Game Vio Mexico 2023, so that we learn from each other and support each other. When I first came to LA, I noticed some the old pros had a workout group. Well, I didn't think I should just step in and try to get in their workout group. So I put one together myself of some people from the agency that I was with and a few others. And the thing that, the benefit that I learned that I didn't realize I was going to learn because I just thought, oh, we'll be critiquing each other and getting better at our reads, was having somebody to talk to about your frustrations, your fears, even someone to share your successes with.
Yeah.
Um, my mom loved me and supported me, but I would get that call. Honey, I was watching this TV show, and you should get on that show. And it's like, Mom, if you only knew, if you only.
And share your letdowns with, man. Like, if you get replaced on a spot, which happens, you know what I mean? Having to be able to have somebody that understands that you can't really talk about that in, a big area of people and being able to get you through that time. One other thing I want to add was the business. You got to learn the business, learn the business, learn the business, learn how to quote and how to, price yourself so that you are making the appropriate amount and upholding the industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, Scott Chambers, 416 for the win. I hardly ever change it out when doing imaging and then doing a commercial. Fantastic. Mike Cunningham again, feeling like a pariah using my Mojave. I'm going to tell you, I have a Mojave. It's a great mic. I don't use it very much, but it's a great mic. You are doing nothing wrong, Mike Cunningham, using that Mojave. And back to that 416 costs a little fortune. I hear it's durable for travel, but I don't feel comfortable leaving it in a hotel room without having a guard on duty. Uh, suggest for a good travel mic? Um, my favorite travel mic is my little Apogee hype mic. Couple $100. It's very small. It fits in my Chaotica eyeball well. And when you say the 416 costs a little fortune, you can get one every day for $900, and I know prices are relative, but compared to a U87, which is 2,500, or even the 103, which is about 1,500, and the workhorse that it is at
Yeah.
900, and there's a reason you don't see many of them for sale.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
aren't selling them because they just work. So when you're able, let your business buy you that 416.
There you go.
Oh, let's see. Danielle Fable, come on, tax deductible travel. Love it.
Yes, baby. She knows. We talk about this. I like the Shure MV88 Plus too for a travel mark. It's very small. You can use it with your phone. Shout out to Bridget Rio for that one.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that.
I have one of those, and every now and then I use it. But the hype
You
mic
like that
is
Apogee.
my
Yeah.
thing. Michael Gell, fine. I will just stay on my 416 then. Until I get a 103 request. Anybody need a signature black 103? That would help me pay for Mexico. You know
Oh
what?
man.
Much as I'd love for you to come to Mexico and do your thing with us there, do not get rid of that 103.
Yeah,
Your
I agree.
416 and your 103, that's really all you need. So
Yep.
hang on to that. Hang on to that.
I got the
Uh,
black one too.
Now, yeah, I've got the anniversary edition black
Huh.
103. Um, Scott Chamber, VO events are uplifting. What we do is a lovely existence. Being around other like minds is so refreshing. You know, and
Mm.
it's interesting. Scott is one of those people I met, God, 2013, 14, and I remember the conversation. He was doing a lot of hardcore car commercials, and he was like, I want to get out of that and do some better work. And it just fills my heart with joy, Scott. Whenever I see you here or in other places doing your thing, watching other people have success just makes me happy.
Yeah.
Dave Fothergill again. Fothergill. Dave, such great advice that your family and friends never quite understand, and all think you should interpret scripts in one way or say you should sound like this or that. So thank you. Do you get that? Do you have family critics?
Not really, because then I'm the one that loves this stuff more, and they're just kind of like, okay, that's Erica's thing. Like, they just kind of let me go. Yeah, I try to pull some other people in. They're just like, no, that's your thing. So they just
Okay,
let
well,
me be
well
the
good.
expert.
Leave you alone. Let you do your thing.
That's
My
right.
my my wife. I've been doing this damn near 40 years. My wife will come down here and critique me. And damn
Oh
it,
man.
sometimes she's right. Ayla Morian, what do you think of the relatively new Lewitt mics from Austria? Um, I'm gonna. Do you have an opinion?
I don't. I know somebody that used one, and they sounded pretty good from what I could hear, but I've never used one myself, so
Yeah,
I don't really have an opinion.
I bought one and tried it out. I thought it was a great mic, and then I sold it to somebody else. Um, but I will do that from time to time, just so I'm a little conversant. It's a decent mic. I don't think you're going to go wrong with it. However, in the world we're living in now, you will often get a note. What's your equipment? What's your
Yes.
DAW? What's your preamp? What's your microphone? And although the Lewitt is a wonderful mic, the names they know are Neumann. You know,
Yep.
they're looking for 102s or 103s, U87s. They're typically not even asking for 416s.
Yeah.
I just give it to them.
Yeah.
I'll get. What did you record that on? My 416. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Uh, So that just a consideration. Let's see. Wolf Williams on the Iron
Hey,
Sharpens
Wolf.
Iron. What's up, Wolf?
What's up?
And Rebecca Lee again. I have a great Lewis 440
It was
P.
Rebecca. Yep, that has the Lewitt. Yep.
Yeah, the Lewitt. And that was
Mm-hmm.
an autocorrect, wasn't it? You
Yeah,
said
probably.
you typed in Lewitt and said, "Oh, she doesn't mean that. She means Lewis."
She means
Yeah.
Lewitt.
They're a decent mic. They're a decent mic.
Yeah.
And much like your tennis racket, when you miss the shot, don't look at your tennis racket. It was you. So don't blame your microphone.
Don't blame the mic.
More often than not, it's you. Hey, listen, we have hit 7:00. You know what? I got just one more thing here. Janice Hunter just popped up something. Let me see what it is. I purchased an Apollo Twin X, and I'm ashamed to say it's still in box. The Scarlett Solo, so simple. Should I self-train or pay someone to train me to use?
I mean, I hear you because I have like one of those modeler mics and it's been in the box for a long time because it's like having to learn it. I'm like, I don't have time. If you can get somebody to help you, why not? I'm a big fan of outsourcing when you can. Buy your time back. So, if you can figure it out on your own, great, but it is no shame in paying someone to help you.
And there's some great people out there: Tim Tippett, George Whittam, Jordan
Jordan.
Reynolds.
Yep.
All are willing to help you at a reasonable price.
Yep.
And I bought one of those Scarletts to check it out and sold it. It's more than you need. And we fall prey so often to the hype of I can have this mic and this mic and this mic. And I should have thought about, well, I kind of already have most of those mics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And keep it simple.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
need good equipment, but it's not your equipment that's going to make a difference in your career.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, I will leave it. Erica J.
This was so fun.
This was so fun. Thank you so much. One of the things I love about doing this, I say it all the time, is I get to know my friends better.
Yeah. Yeah, we never have time. We're all so busy.
Yeah, and you really are just a shining example of who we are as a voiceover community. Love your laugh, love your smile, love your sharing, your participation, and thank you for participating with me because I know you got a regular job and a voiceover job and a fiance and a 3-month-old baby that you got to get back to. So I appreciate the time.
Well, thank you for having me. This was super fun. Thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, love it. Love voiceover community. Mwah.
Yes, yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is, Erica J. Thank you so much. And just a reminder, GameVOMexico.com if you're interested in getting all the details on GameVO Mexico 2023 in Acamal, Mexico. That's on the Yucatan Peninsula. This will live on my YouTube channel, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training, along with all the other Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. And if you are interested in voiceover coaching with me, DaveFennoy.com, click on the Study VO tab at the top. And until the next time, go on out there and book something.